It's hard to believe that the Patriotic Alliance will be turning 10 years old in November, but it only seems to be shaking up the political scene in the last little while. Gayton McKenzie, the co-founder, is with us today on, to get a catch-up on some extraordinary things that have happened, including another very strong by-election showing. And of course, that interview with the SABC, which we shall not talk about, Gayton. I'm sure you would like to confine that to history. It was rather extraordinary to see that you even went to that interview in the first place. But I guess that's what happens. You're in the public eye now.
Definitely. There was a mess. I think it was just Malema sending his boy to say try to deal with him, but I sent him back with his tail between his legs.
I think many will agree with you on that. But last time we spoke, about 2 months ago, it was after the Swellendam by-election, where there were some very strong signals there that the Patriotic Alliance was starting to really hit its straps. Now we can talk about an election in the Western Cape, where something similar happened in Kokama, in the Eastern Cape, Kokama Ward 5, where the PA grew dramatically. The Democratic Alliance contracted significantly, but you split the vote and the ANC won.
100%. I think that is just, I think there's some truths that we must face, which none of us, the DA and the PA, it doesn't want to face. But I think it's a truth we have to face at some point in our lives. And this is not even blaming the DA. This is pointing the finger at both of us to say, the saying that says, when let's say when two brothers fight, a stranger gets the inheritance. And I'm not saying we're brothers, but what I'm saying is that wherever the DA and the PA does not work together, the ANC is always going to walk away with a bone, and it's just an uncomfortable truth that we have to admit. It has happened in Swellendam. It has happened in Kokama. It might happen in George, and it might happen in George where there are 3 by-elections where George will fall in the hands of the ANC if we don't get our act together. But it all comes down to how serious is it? I mean, like you open the newspapers and you swear that, and this is also from the PA side, not only the DA. You swear that the DA is the enemy and the PA is the enemy and not the ANC. The way we're having a go with each other, my people and their people. So I just think there's going to be, in the next we've got 3 months for a lot of maturity to happen. Am I hopeful for that? I don't think so. The opposition is giving the ANC the biggest gift ever, which is another 5 years, and all of us, including the PA.
Yeah. When you look at it from the outside, it certainly looks like that. It looks like the opposition are fighting amongst each other, and voters, and we've heard this many times before, they don't like what the ANC has done, but why give your vote to opposition parties who are just bickering and fighting with each other? Rather stay with the devil you know.
That's very true. I mean, like a friend of mine in the ANC was telling me that they went on a breakaway in I think in Vereniging, the ANC, and they said the only saving grace is the hate amongst the opposition for each other. I mean, for the ANC to admit that and say, guys, we'll have another bite at the cherry, because all the only saving grace is the opposition has not found each other. And I mean, you look at Action SA, you look at PA, you look at Freedom Front Plus, IFP. We like an episode of the housewife parties of Joburg or Cape Town. People like this. When I watch those shows, I see people always fighting. And I just think that there's a lot of maturity that needs to happen. And we all have lessons to learn. I mean, the leadership of the PA, for instance, we are going to Israel to go and learn as much as we can about coalition politics, because this is something new. And I think the South African public is also impatient with politicians. We've never had coalitions, and none of us really know how to behave, if truth be told. If we knew, would not have been in this problem. The ANC would have been nowhere. So we have now taken a decision that we're going to go to Israel, because Israel has never not had a coalition since the state of Israel was formed. They've always had a coalition, and I think there's no better place to go and learn about coalitions than in Israel, and we are taking the leadership down there.
Lots of maturity needed, as you say, and hopefully we're going to have you all at the Biz News conference in the Berg in March, and maybe you can find each other there as well. But that's going to be too late. You need to get it done now and soon.
Yeah, no, the President Ramaphosa has made one mistake. He has, without knowing it, he has given the date for the election in Northwest, which is in May. I don't think he was planning to do that. And I just think that, we need, it's so easy, even from the PA side, to just blame Helen Zeller and blame this. It's deeper than that. Once we can have a discussion and say, and I think from the DA will probably tell us what we're doing wrong. But what the DA needs to understand, and all the other parties, is that there's no Moonshot Pact without the Patriotic Alliance. Now, that might not be a appetizing thought for many, but there's no Moonshot Pact without the Patriotic Alliance, and you're not going to make me force, and that's what John Steenhuisen wanted me to do. I must now come and knock at the door to bring much needed oxygen to somebody that needs oxygen inside, but now I must now sing my praises why I should be allowed in to bring them oxygen. And there's not going to be a Moonshot Pact without the DA. If the DA is not part of the Moonshot Pact, just as the PA, there's no Moonshot Pact. The same with Action SA. So once we can get to that stage where we understand that this is as Raymond Ackerman used to say, the four legs of the table. There's no table. There's no table standing without the four legs. And once you do not have IFP, you do not have PA, you do not have Action, you do not have DA. There's no Moonshot Pact you can speak about. Now, we don't need to like each other, but it seems that our hatred for each other is bigger than our hatred for the African National Congress. I think that is the problem that we are sitting with, and history will judge us all, including myself, very unkindly, because the ANC had 30 years of rule, 30 years of misrule, I would say. The ANC has had a chance. I mean, Japan, in 10 years, they've managed to see where they were going. In 25 years, Rwanda was seeing where they're going. Countries like Singapore and them. But the ANC just seems unable to even give us a roadmap of where we are going as a country. But I think that the opposition we will pay for our sins one day if we don't get our act together. And this is not even blamestorming. I include the PA, for instance. We have behaved in ways that we shouldn't have behaved in. And I want to admit that. We brought arrogance to the table. We brought arrogance to the table, and the same with all the other parties. But once we can own our thing, our mistake in where we find ourselves, and I think that will be the first step. And people can say what they like, Alec. Let me tell you something. They can just say what they like. The ANC, the PA is a poodle of the ANC, or we're always helping the ANC. We're helping ourselves to power. I can't help people that can't think that far. We want power, and sometimes the ANC is willing to share their power with us. This is coalition politics is a power sharing agreement. Now, if the DA says to us, we are going to share 4 slices of this loaf with you, and the ANC says, no, you can have 6 slices, it will be highly irresponsible of me to go with the 4 slices, while there can be 6 slices for my people. And once we can start, it's not even about the ANC. And I mean, few people know this, but last week, the DA voted the PA mayor out of the Tsobotla municipality in the Northwest together with the EFF. Now, I'm not going to begrudge the DA for doing that. I'm not going to accuse them of being a lackey of the EFF, although they're on record as saying they will not work with the EFF. But I understand that what they're getting currently and what they will be getting now that the PA is out is bigger for the people. So I understand why they did it, and so they should understand why we are doing it. But I'm saying to you now, the ANC is going to regroup after 2024. I don't care where people, I don't know where people get this amount that the ANC is going to get 45. There's no such a thing. Not in this world. There's no such a thing. Yesterday I saw something in Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein is the stronghold of the ANC. And the mayor was chased away in, I think, 50, which is the stronghold. People said, chase the mayor away. People are angry. I think the ANC will get 41 if they solve load shedding. But without load shedding, they're going into the 30s. With load shedding, which I think they will sort out, they'll get 41, 42%. They still will have to choose between Action SA, IFP, the DA, and PA. And the much dreaded thought for white liberals, which is the EFF. And when that happens, the EFF will make the ANC they'll push them more to the left when that happens. The EFF will, because they would want to rule them. The EFF is very clear on what is the 7 cardinal pillars. And they will say to them, you want our vote, you do 1, 2, 3, 4. While all the other parties, including the PA, we are free market. I'm for the free market system. In fact, I'm more conservative than I'd like to admit.
It's really a good background and good insight that you've given us there, Gayton, and indeed your party laying charges of electoral fraud against the ANC in the Kokama Ward 5 shows that you aren't joined at the hip, not by any means at all. But if we just go forward, Herman Mashaba last week told us from Action South Africa, he said that he feels the only way you can move forward with this Moonshot Pact or with the free enterprise political parties is that if you all sign something that you say you'll never work with the ANC again, and that you go to jail if you break it. He says it's got to be really, really hard. What do you think of that suggestion? Because what he's worried about is that the DA is using all of you, and then come 2024, the DA and the ANC will form a government.
Yeah, well, you know what is not a lie is that, and this came out of the mouth of John Steenhuisen, what I'm going to tell you now. John Steenhuisen we just had a conversation one day with a few people, and it's obviously not a secret because he said it in front of a lot of people. And he said the following thing, which was very telling for me. He said, Cyril Ramaphosa took all his funders at a certain time. Cyril Ramaphosa had all the goodwill at a certain time. And the people that used to give the DA money gave Cyril money. They said with all that goodwill, President Cyril Ramaphosa still didn't manage to turn that into mass support for the ANC. Now, what I take from that and how I link it with what you just said is that surely those funders share a belief in Cyril Ramaphosa and they share a belief in the DA. Now, Mary Oppenheimer, Malema spoke about it in the Sunday Times yesterday, although he didn't mention the name, but I knew he was talking about her, saying that Mary said to Paul Mashatile, I'm not going to give you money. I'll only give Cyril money, but I wouldn't give the ANC money. And she flatly refused. In yesterday's Sunday Times, Malema mentioned that. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is when the funders, which plays a massive role in politics, in decisions that leaders take, that's why we're trying to shy away from most funders, because the funders of the DA and the funders of Cyril Ramaphosa would like them to form one thing. Hence, a lot of white people don't know how racist it is for colored people. When white people are saying to the PA, you want to work with the ANC, don't work with the ANC. But when John Steenhuisen and Helen Zille and Jordan Hill-Lewis are saying the same thing, the very same white people are quiet. Now, in my community, they're like, look at those racists. They want to tell us what to do, but they say nothing when the white person does that. And that's what I was explaining to Rob the other day. I said, you cannot say that, but because it is wrong. If working with the ANC is wrong, it should be wrong for the PA and it should be wrong for the DA. Now, you come around and you say, Gayton, you must join this Moonshot Pact. That's what John Steenhuisen told me. He says, Gayton, you can join this Moonshot Pact, but you have to sign here. When you sign here, you must say you will never work with the ANC. I said, but you are on record, and you're still not denying it, that as a last option, you're willing to work with the ANC. What makes you better? Is it your skin color? What makes you better? And those are the questions. Now, Herman Mashaba's idea, I can tell you now what I think should happen, and this is a slightly different from Herman Mashaba's one. Excuse me. Herman Mashaba says, I think what we must do, let's take Johannesburg, for instance, now. The DA, there's a vote of no confidence Action SA is putting on this new mayor. I think what should be happening is we need to go in a room as coalition partners, and we should agree on something. And then we should have a press conference and say to the voters what we've agreed upon. Because that's where the problem lies. Not the fear of jail or send people to jail. It's going to take you 10 years to send somebody to jail. What we should be doing is we should go in there and say, we've agreed on this as the 5 parties that want to unseat the ANC in the city of Joburg or anywhere else. I'm just using the example. This is what PA shall be doing. This is what the DA shall be doing. And then that document, we make an order of the court. The document, we can make that document the order of the court. And then we can now, the public will then say, who has gone when this coalition falls tomorrow? The public will then go and say, no, but it's because of the PA. The PA is dead. But you see, the problem that nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to talk about it is the following 3 things. When it comes to this coalition, there's so much hatred and personal animosity. You sit in that meetings and it's like World War III. John used to have the wife of Michael Bowman. Bowman took Michael Bowman's wife. Michael Bowman hates John Steenhuisen. Helen Zille hates Gayton. Gayton hates Helen Zille. The DA is thinking we are taking our colored support back from them, which is their backbone. Those are personal issues amongst us in those meetings that comes to the fore. When these people speak about to each other, you look at Action SA, it's the worst meeting you can ever attend. When Action SA speaks and the DA speaks, the contempt, even in the voices, just the contempt in answering the question, it was sarcasm, it was rudeness, sometimes bordering on rudeness. I'm saying to you that we are giving the ANC a free pass. If we are such ANC lackeys, why is it that when John asked me and Mashaba asked me and Corley asked me, can you vote against the ANC in Tshwane? Can you vote for us for the budget? Without demanding anything. I did vote for the opposition, for the coalition. Now you want to come without asking for anything, just to show my bona fides. But I am not going to become, for a lack of a better word, day bitch, where they say, do this, go there. Then I'm selling my people out. What I'm saying is, let us get together and we say, and a lot of your listeners need to really listen to themselves also, because I've seen that. They comment, yeah, it's just an ANC lackey. And I'm like, oh, so what is Helen Zille? And she says, I'm going to work with the ANC. 2024, this is my prediction. The ANC will have 2 choices. They will have a choice. Do they want to go with? The ANC will get 41. I think PA will get 10% of the next. We grew 16 times the last time, and I think we're going to grow 13 times this time, which will give us a 10%. We are going for 10%, by the way, as the Patriotic Alliance. I think the ANC will be in a problem. Will be spoiled for choice. Excuse me. They will have either PA or the ANC or the EFF they can choose from. I think the price for the EFF will be too high to pay, because the EFF will have expropriation without compensation, which we don't believe in PA. We want expropriation with compensation. You gotta pay a man if you're gonna take his land, if you're gonna take the land from him, market value. So our things are very clear. We want foreigners to be mass deported. So I think the ANC will have a choice between the EFF and the ANC. We've consistently beaten the EFF in all by-elections. And there's a big one coming on the 29th, and we're going to beat them again. So I think that is where the choice will come. The DA, the Action SA, Freedom Front Plus, we need to all say we can't go without each other. PA can be how arrogant with the DA, but this Moonshot Pact will not work if the DA is not part of it. There's going to have to come some serious maturity, even from the side of the PA, because we are not blame-free here.
Very good stuff. Just to close off with, Gayton, there's an article in News 24 about the fundraiser. Now, this is confusing to me because when we spoke last at the conference, you told us about Rob Hersov offering you R1 billion in funding and that you turned it down. Now we have a news article which says that you raised R3 million and then you effectively stole it. What's going on there? What's actually the story?
Let me give you the real story, what's happening there. There's two stories there. First story, I've got a personal problem with the editor of News 24, Adrian Basson. This is my opinion. He's like a small boy in a big candy store. He wrote stuff about me. I took him to court and I won in court and the court ordered him to apologize. So everything you see now is the revenge of the apology. Let me start there. I just want to give context. I raised money with a gala dinner in Sandton. The money we raised there was around 700,000 to 800,000 rands. The first invoice we got was 1.1 million for the first group of toilets. That was the first invoice. When we raised the money, I then said to council, I will come back and come and report. Council has now given me a date for the 10th of September to come and report what have I done while I was there. These people now come and they say, I didn't put the money into the account of the News 24. I didn't put the money into the account of the municipality. How? When I got there, imagine those thieves that were there, I must give them the money we've raised and say, yeah, I've raised money, go steal it further. It was never a secret that the money was there. It was never a secret. But now, you can't blame the DA. The DA is just jumping on top of my fight with Adrian Basson. Adrian Basson then called me to a meeting. But I could see his aim was probably for me to withdraw the case. He didn't mention it, but looking back now, we sat down and we said, let's bury this hatchet. A week after that, he went for me again after we shook hands and say, write negatively about me, but with facts. We are back in court again with him. Then in conclusion, on the 10th of September, I am inviting all the media houses to Central Karoo Council, where I'm going to give report about this money. There's 700 and something thousand we've raised in Sandton, and what we've done with the other monies that people. There's a guy that gave me money for it. He says, fix for me some pools in Joburg, and we are busy doing that now. So we will give a full report on the 10th of September, but I will never apologize for not giving those thieves I found there in Central Karoo the money of my friends that gave money. Then lastly, the issue of the billion rands of Rob. You know, Rob and a group of 4 other very successful business people approached me, and they were very clear. We want a pact against the African National Congress. Like they wanted the ANC out. And I was approached by even some governments that said, we need the ANC out. And I said, that's not how I operate. But one of the things of Rob's suggestion I didn't like was the fact that we should not compete in the Western Cape. You know, that's suicide for the Patriotic Alliance because that's where we are the strongest. And I said to Rob, I am not interested. And then he respected that. And I mean, he's still a proponent for the independent Western Cape. I hate that. And he's a strong proponent. And some of the points he's making is making sense, but the majority wouldn't make sense for a guy like me to support that. So all I'm saying, on that, anybody that still want to accuse me, come on the 10th of September. It's a standing invite. The swimming pools, they say we didn't fix. They will also have a chance to see it. I will be touring with the media. I'm inviting each and every media house to come and see. We open the books and say, this is the money we've raised. This is what the money is spending on. You can go and check with me. I will go with you. But this is just a fight between two people that has had a 20-year hate for each other.
Gayton, the Beaufort West story is developing in a very interesting manner. I know you've been pushing very hard for fracking. I had a fascinating discussion with let's call him the chief geologist, the state's chief geologist, who said that the drill, the well that they've put down near Beaufort West shows that there are 8 trillion cubic feet of gas, 8 TCF, and that Moss gas went for 30 years on 1 TCF. So it shows there's something there, something big there. Are you still pushing this along? Because it now appears as though that, what's under the ground, could transform that whole district.
No, what very good question you're asking me, Alec, because let me tell you what's happening there. I am the person behind all of this that you just mentioned, because they lack decisive leadership. I said we will not be told by the Greenies. We will make sure that we do this responsible, like they've done it in Mossel Bay and everywhere else. We'll make sure everything happens responsibly. All of these people that you see now coming out of the woodwork, yeah, we've got gas, they were too scared. On your show, I said it, that I will stand up for the people of Beaufort West. The only thing I'm not going to allow, as a leader elected by the people there, my party has been elected by the people there, we are not going to allow them to put those auctions, those 8 blocks on auction, without including a clause of a free carry for the community of Beaufort West. The people of Beaufort West does not understand what has just hit their town. 2 things. National government will come like a bull in a china shop there, and they will do the old trick that we mining guys always used to do, including myself. We come in and we give 1,000 people a job, and then it's no longer our fight. The 1,000 people will make sure we continue mining, because they have jobs now, and they will fight with the ones that does not have jobs. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that the 8 blocks that's there, and there's still other blocks. The 8 TCFs are only the blocks that they've drilled, the result they got back. According to the Americans, we are sitting on close to 300 million TCFs. 300 TCF, according to the American government.
In the whole Karoo, yeah.
The whole Karoo. But Beaufort West is now about to become the Dubai. And that's when I meant to say it was the Dubai. People thought I'm going to start building a Dubai myself. But, stupidity sometimes does not have medicine. But Dubai is now going to be realized when people are going there. We must not stop business people from coming in, but I want the communities to have a free carry in every block. So whoever bid for the block, because you're going to have all the big houses coming down. My phone has not stopped ringing. And when they come down, they must know 5% or 10% is a free carry for the community. So the community will support them, but nobody will extract gas in the Karoo and do what they've done in Kimberley and leave us with a hole there where the gas was. The people must benefit. It's going to be likened to according to an American company that spoke to me, told me that this for them, it's close to the gold rush in city of Joburg. They say they are all coming. They're going to transform that place. And I'm glad I fought for this. And I'm glad I also gave bravery and political direction to this matter.
The number is very important, though, 5 to 10%, because the last time South Africa was starting to exploit the offshore gas off the East Coast, Jacob Zuma wanted 80% as a free carry, which is unrealistic. So I guess that there's a global norm there which will satisfy all parties.
I agree with you. The problem is that I'm a businessman first before I'm a politician, so I understand business. What I do not want, I don't want the community to become just ordinary shareholders, because when a call is made tomorrow for money to be put into the business, they call on the community also, and then they dilute the community. And we know gymnastics, there's people accounting gymnastics, what they do. I'm saying give the community a free carry between 5 and 10%, where they don't contribute any money, where the community has jobs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when the waterfall, then there must be some sort of waterfall for the community also at the beginning. And that's basically what I'm saying. But 80% is not realistic for any business to survive. No business can survive giving away equity of percentages in 80%. But 5% is a good free carry for the whole community. And your address will be the one that make sure that you are benefiting.
It's a fantastic story. We have been following it on Biz News. When James Lorimer from the DA, the Shadow Minerals Minister, spoke about this, his story was read by 75,000 people, which you just don't get nowadays on a business story. But it just shows that things are really starting to happen in the gas area, and exactly the point that you made a moment ago, that this is going to be the Johannesburg of the gold rush down in Beaufort West. My goodness, what an exciting time. Gayton McKenzie is the co-founder and the leader of the Patriotic Alliance. Thanks as always for the chat. I'm Alec Hogg from biznews.com.